This training will demonstrate the statewide Environmental Project Tracker, or SWEPT tool. If you have an account in the Environmental Screening Tool, your login name and password will be the same in both the Environmental Screening Tool and the SWEPT tool. If you reset your password in one of those tools, it updates the password in both. When using the SWEPT tool, you will need to have the special roles designed for the SWEPT process. SWEPT is a tool to track the environmental document delivery and approval process. This happens during the PD&E phase. Notice the logo on the login screen for the Office of Environmental Management. You can click the logo to open the web page for the Office of Environmental Management. This site is the location for information about the Office of Environmental Management and includes resources such as the PD&E manual and ETDM manual. There's a form here for inputting your username and password, and also links. If you've forgotten your password, you can click the Forgot Your Password link and put in either your email address or username and have your password sent to you by email. There's also a Contact Us link, which shows the information for how to contact the ETDM Help Desk, now renamed the OEM Help Desk for Office of Environmental Management. The OEM Help Desk supports both the Environmental Screening Tool and the SWEPT tool. You can use this email address, swept@fla-etat.org, or you can call us at 850-414-5334. This information is also in the footer on this page. The footer also contains the FDOT logo, which is a link to the main FDOT website. Now we've explored the login page, we're ready to log in. Logging into the SWEPT tool brings us to this main page, labeled Home, as you can see by the breadcrumb in the upper left corner. In the upper right corner, you have two icons, a bell, which will show you if you have any alerts, and is a link to the alerts page, and the Head and Shoulders icon, which is a link to your account. Here's where you would go to change your password, update your contact information, and if you're a district environmental administrator, to delegate authority for reviewing projects to another user, and also to log out from the application. The change password form looks like this. Input your current password, put in your new password twice, and click Change Password. The update contact information looks like this. There's the organization I'm associated with, my name information, my address information, and other contact information. I can update that and click Save for my role related to this organization. There are some more icons on the title bar. On the left side is the three parallel lines, or hamburger icon. This is used for turning on and off the menu. By default, the menu is turned on. On some pages, it will default to being turned off, and the way to turn it back on is just to click and toggle on the hamburger menu. On the far right, you'll see PDF and zip buttons. Right now, they're disabled because they're not available for the current page. The OEM SWEPT logo will always bring you back to this page, just as the Home breadcrumb will bring you back to this page as well. The page is dominated with these three large buttons for project dashboards, project input/setup, and project documents. You'll notice that these titles are also main sections of the menu. Each of these sections has a down arrow that can be expanded to show us more options. There's also the Reports section, which we'll also talk about. But let's start at the top, My Alerts. We can get to this page either by clicking the My Alerts menu item or by clicking on the bell in the upper right corner. If we have alerts waiting for us, the bell will have a number in a red circle right next to it, and we can click on it to see what those alerts are. Currently, there are no activities requiring our attention. The idea behind alerts is they're a list of tasks we need to perform in the SWEPT tool. The next menu item is Project Dashboards. We can click on the Overview link. This has the same effect that we would get if we were back on the main page and clicked on the Project Dashboards button. Each of these buttons will bring us to the Overview page in the group of tools listed under the corresponding menu item in the menu. The Dashboards overview shows us a list of projects that we can filter by any of the column headings. We can put in a partial project name, for example, to limit the number of projects. We can also select by county or dates or FM number or district. I can click the X to clear out the project name filter and then click on My Projects to show only projects that are within my jurisdiction. I'm logged in as a user from District 1, and so only projects from District 1 are listed. The options available to me now, either on the menu or using the buttons up above, are Federal SWOT Dashboard, State SWOT Dashboard, and Executive Dashboards. The federal options are by class of action. I can choose to look at the Type 2 CE, the EA or EIS dashboard. The SWOT dashboard is for SEER classes of action. And the executive dashboards offer me the State Executive Dashboard, which is a specialized view of the State SWOT Dashboard, or NEPA Assignment Dashboard, which is a specialized view of the Federal SWOT Dashboard. I've chosen Federal SWOT Dashboard Type 2 Categorical Exclusion. At this point, I want you to notice what has happened to our breadcrumbs. Now we see a path, Home, Project Dashboards, Federal SWOT Dashboard. Each step along the way is a link back to that page. Federal SWOT Dashboard is the page we're currently on. Project Dashboards is the overview page for project dashboards that we can go back to, and Home is the very beginning page with those three large buttons across the top. Notice also that our menu is hidden, and we can turn it on and off by toggling on the hamburger button. The Federal SWOT Dashboard allows us to switch quickly among classes of action, Type 2 CE, EA, and EIS. Notice also our PDF button is enabled, so we can quickly generate a PDF of the screen we're looking at. I can jump back quickly to the project dashboards by clicking on this middle link in our breadcrumbs. You may not be familiar with the acronym SWOT. It stands for Statewide Acceleration and Transformation. SWOT projects are projects in a project management process for a multidisciplinary team to identify opportunities to gain efficiencies on these particular projects. The executive dashboard gives us a concentrated view of a subset of identified critical milestones to identify to leadership whether the project is on schedule for some of these SWOT projects. Notice on this particular dashboard, our menu is gone altogether. There's no way for us to get back by clicking on a button. Here's where an important navigational trick comes in handy. Hold down the Alt button on your keyboard and hit your left arrow key. That takes you back to the previous page that you were just looking at. You can use this throughout the application using your Alt key and the left and right arrow buttons on your keyboard. One other quick tip about navigation, wherever you see green text with an underline, that indicates a link. In project listings, you'll see the FM number is highlighted in green with the underline. If you click on it, it'll either bring up the overview or give you an option to select from different choices. From here, I can navigate to the overview or to the schedule for this project. I'll click on our SWEP logo to go back to our main page again. From here, we'll investigate project input/setup. You see the menu items are Overview and Type 1 Categorical Exclusion Checklist. I can click on the button to get to the overview or use the link in the menu. The first item on our page is a link to Type 1 CE Checklist, the same location that the second link in the menu would take us to. Notice also on this page we have a right side menu, Projects with Incomplete Setups, Projects Changed in the Last 30 Days, and All Projects. These are lists of subsets of projects. They have a link for the FM number to view the overview, and here they have buttons to finish the setup, and in the second table to edit the project. We can navigate quickly among these tables by using the links on the right, or by scrolling up and down. Notice how the highlighting on the links on the right correspond to where we are in the page when we scroll. To look at the Type 1 CE checklist, we can either click the action button here or the menu item. This is where we would input information on a Type 1 CE. There's another separate training video that demonstrates how to do that. Now let's go back to Home and try this third button, Project Documents. Our options here are Overview and Projects Needing Approval. We'll click on Project Documents to go to the overview. The first thing we see is a search form where we can search for projects. We can search by FM number, project name, document type, document name, and we can use just a partial name to do these searches. Here I input the value North and got these results. Notice the word North in the names. From the listing, we can click on the FM number to view the overview of the project. Here I'll navigate back using the back button in my browser. I can also click on a document link to view the document. I can also scroll down to the My Projects list. Similar to the list we've seen before, this is filterable by inputting information into any of the column headings. For details on these projects, I can click the FM number links. This shows me the project overview. All the project information is listed on the left. Project documents are listed below, documents associated with the project. And if the project has geometry, the overview map will zoom to show us. This project does not have geometry, and we get a message in the upper right corner saying no map features found for this FM number. The other link under project documents is the projects needing approval. This list contains all of the projects within our district, D1 shown here, that are Type 1 CEs awaiting the approval of the District Environmental Administrator. Currently, there are no projects in the list. I'll click on Home to bring us back to our home page again. Notice the last item in our menu doesn't have a corresponding button. That's Reports. In this Phase 1 rollout, the available report is the Approved Type 1 Categorical Exclusion Report. This shows a list of Type 1 CE projects that have been submitted and then approved by the District Environmental Administrator. Again, we can filter these by any of the column headings, and we can click on the FM number links to get more information. From this report, we can go to two different places. One is the Overview, a page we've seen before, with the project information and corresponding map. I'm using my Alt-left arrow button to navigate back to the list and check out the other link, the CE report. This shows us the completed Type 1 Categorical Exclusion Checklist with information about the project and the responses to all of the 12 questions. In addition, each question has references to the documentation supporting the response. Those documents are included below. We can click on the links of the documents to view them. If additional supporting activities were identified, they are listed in this section. And then the approval information, the preparer who completed the Type 1 CE checklist, and the approver who approved it. The Show Hide History link allows us to see a complete history. If we take a closer look at the file names, we see there's a methodology to how they're named. Each file name begins with the FM number for the project, followed by the class of action, in this case CE1, indicating a Type 1 CE, followed by the district, here D4 for District 4, then the file name proper, probably the name that was on the hard drive when the file was uploaded, then a 4-digit year, 2-digit month, and 2-digit day to indicate the date of the file, and finally the file extension that tells us the file type. Remember, even though all these are PDFs, we can see image files and Word documents as well. We have two methods for exporting the information from this page. If we click the PDF button, we'll get a PDF version of this page, starting with the project information, then the 12-question checklist, then the list of files and file names, and the approval and history information. If we want to include each of these attached files, then we can use the zip option. Click the zip icon, and all these files will be zipped together with the PDF of the page into one file that will be available for download. Clicking the zip icon created this zip file, which has the same naming convention information included in it, and the zip extension. The zip file includes all of these PDF documents, including this one, Approved Type 1 Categorical Exclusion Checklist, which is the PDF version of the page we're looking at. Finally, I want to talk about the search tool. The search tool is in the upper right corner of the application, and it has a text box. Just type in a search term and click on the search icon. You can see our search options listed at the top here. The categories we're searching in are projects, documents, and people. The districts we're searching in, all the districts are selected. And then the number of results per page, we can vary that from 10 all the way through, just listing everything that gets returned. The results are listed in 3 different columns down below. Here are projects with the word North in the title of the project. Here are documents with the word North in the title of the project or in the description of the project. And people, if there were any people with the word North as part of their name, they would be listed here as well. Then the links can take me to, for example, the project overview page for a project. opening a document by clicking the document link, and connecting to a person's profile if we had any people matching. The last item on our menu is Help. Because this is the Phase 1 rollout of the SWEP tool, there's not a great deal of information in Help, but more information is coming, including links to videos like this one. At the very bottom, you can see additional help with information on how to contact the OEM help desk. Either email us at swept@fla-etat.org or call us at 850-414-5334.